Greetings everyone, welcome to Chess Advanced, and this game was played in 2020. With the white pieces, we have Daniil Dubov, an amazing, spectacular player. With the black pieces, we have Sergey Karjakin, and welcome to Daniil Dubov's Immortal, because this game is an absolute spectacle, because you're absolutely going to enjoy this. Without further ado, let's start with this game. I'm really excited to show you this. E4 was played by Daniil, E5, Knight to F3, Knight to C6, and Bishop to C4. We go into the Italian game, Bishop to C5, we go into Giuco piano, and here just C3. Knight to f6, d4, immediately striking in the center. E captures, but not capturing right away, but going for b4. Bishop to b6 and e5, just displacing all the pieces. Knight to e4, but now just bishop to d5, just going for all of those knights. Knight captures, pawn captures, and just going for this bishop to g5, attacking the queen. Knight to e7, blocking, but now just castles. Sergey Karjakin in this position could not even find a move. I mean, if you castle, then your position is much worse here. But h6 was played just to push the bishop off. But bishop to h4, just keeping the tension in. And now castles. But now comes rook to e1, and your position is very bad. Queen to e8 was tried by Sergey, but now comes this bishop to b3, and we have a5, just trying to make some counterplay and also maybe just defend that pass pawn. But hey, bishop to f6, a beautiful sacrifice. And if you take this, your position is just so bad. Let me give you an example. G captures, now you go E captures, but because of the spin, you can never move this knight. So here you can just play on. Here you play C2, just move the queen away, because otherwise you have to understand this and all of this is coming. So you have to be very much careful. So queen captures on C2, but just D5. And now comes queen to D2, king to H7, just trying to defend against that, but rook captures on E7. And once the queen moves, now you play a move like queen to D3 check, king moves, and now just go for bishop to C2. And this is actually a mate in 3. There's nothing you can do. Bishop to f5, capture, bishop captures, king captures, but now once you move the king, game is over. But here in this position, after bishop to f6, captures was not played, obviously, because Sergey is not that stupid. But here just going for a4 and attacking the bishop. And what do you do with the bishop here? Bishop to c4 was played. That is the best move in the position. But knight to g6 now. And in this position, queen to d3 was played by Daniil Dubov. And we have d5 immediately striking in the center. We have e captures en passant, opening up an attack towards the queen. But just bishop to e6, just guarding against everything. And in this position, I think one of the greatest moves ever played by Daniil Dubov in any match. He goes for queen captures on g6. That's right. He sacrifices the queen, because here after f captures, he gets rook captures. And now he's sacrificing to pick up the queen with a check. So you have to do something about that. Queen to f7, and don't get it twisted, because you cannot go for rook to e4 trying to go for that queen, because here after everything gets traded off, queen captures, rook captures, your bishop would be hanging, so you would be down material, so you cannot go for that. So here bishop captures on c3 was played, just getting the bishop out of the way, but king to h8. And now comes this rook to e4, attacking the queen with the bishop, and rook is protecting the bishop. But now comes this queen to f5, attacking the rook, and instead of doubling up, he just goes for rook to e7. He knows that that rank has to defend this pawn, otherwise you're just completely lost and you cannot do it with the queen, so you have to give up the exchange. Rook to g8 was played, but just bishop captures, rook captures, and just d captures, creating a pass pawn as well. Queen to c2 now, attacking the bishop, but just bishop to e5, just keeping every tension here in the position, also threatening a lot of things if the rook ever moves. We have bishop captures on f2 with a check, king moves, and now just bishop back to b6. You have to keep an eye on this pawn, otherwise you're just completely lost. And if this bishop ever moves, you want to capture it. Here h3 was played, just making some breathing room for the king. King to h7, and now comes rook to e1. Now both rooks have been doubled. Position is absolutely amazing. There is no way Sergey could make any progress, and he just has to wait for a slow death in this position, because hey, just a3 was tried by him, but just king to h2, g5, just this is much worse. I mean, opening up this, because now just comes knight to d4, attacking the queen, queen to c4, and knight to f5. And now there's a triple attack, and there is nothing you could do to defend it. Queen captures on b4 was tried, but just rook to c1, and now you're just pushing that pass pawn as well. There's a pressure here as well. You have sacrificed your queen, but your pieces are just working and coordinating so beautifully in this position. King to g6 was tried, just trying to go for this, but now comes then. I mean, instead of going here, I would just promote, and I'm completely up material. I mean, that's absolutely crazy. I mean, but instead of just showing this arrow, I could just show you, if you capture here, then just I queen, and the position is absolutely lost. I mean, you cannot even capture the knight now. So what do? I guess you can just move the rook somewhere, but other than that, I think there is nothing is happening here. I mean, you're just completely lost. You're just getting mate into here as well, and this is pathetic. Because here, if you move the king back, then this comes, and due to our good friend bishop here, this is actually checkmate. So that's absolutely insane. But here, after rook captures on g7, here king captures was played on f5, but now comes this beautiful rook captures on g8, even hanging that. I mean, you don't care about that. Here, bishop captures on c7, finally grabbing the pass pawn, but here just bishop captures, queen to b2 attacking the rook, but now just comes this rook to c5 check, king to e4, and rook to d8. And it was on this move, on just move 38, that Sergey Karjakin resigned the game, and Daniil Dubov made it his beautiful immortal, because this is a spectacle to watch, seriously. And if you're wondering why he resigned, he still has the queen. There is no point in having a queen. If you go for like some pass pawn here, like queen captures on a2, you're just getting mated here with this beautiful rook to e5. Once the king moves, you go here, queen blocks, that's the only move, and rook captures would be checkmate. So position is absolutely crumbling, there is no doubt about it. And this is the best game of Daniil Dubov I've ever seen. This is absolutely spectacular. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming back with games like these, so if you want to stay updated, you can just connect to the channel. And yeah, I'll be seeing you guys very soon. Thank you everyone for watching.